Everybody has nightmares, whether they remember them or not. But do you know that there are types and different meanings and explanations for dreams? Master of ceremonies, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, a warm good evening to you all.
Good evening. Good evening.
There are three common types of dreams that usually people experience. First of all is the wake-up call. I call it that because it wakes you up. It's the type of dream where you see yourself falling from a steep height. Usually, it is due to wrong sleeping habits, where the brain sends signals to you and translates it as fear, and thus you wake up. The second type of dream is the freak show from hell. I call it that because it makes no sense at all. 1 minute, you're running away from a serial killer, and the next, you have duck feet, and you're speaking duck language. Quack, quack, quack. Translated as, help! The third type is the actual dreams, or sometimes nightmares, which have hidden messages and meanings. For example, when you dream about the death or the murder of someone you personally know, it means that this someone will have a long life. I'm not an expert in explaining dreams, but I have a basic knowledge of what they could mean. Let me tell you about a dream I had a long time ago. But first, I need you to close up your eyes just for a second. Imagine a black screen. Few white lines in the middle of the screen. And as you read them, they say, based on true story. Dum dum dum. The production and film of Maram Al Aradi presents Sweet Nightmare. I was living in a small town with my family. I had my friends living close by, and we meet every once in a while to go out and have fun. Of course, even though it's a small town, but it is famous for having the house uphill. It's actually a mansion with huge, long walls. It had a creepy, dark aura, like the kind of houses you see in cartoons and films, with clouds and fog. It was known that a very rich man lived in there, but no one has ever seen him before. One day, we received an invitation to that mansion. Of course, my mother refused to accept the invitation out of fear. But then again, it was a great opportunity to see the man. Therefore, she obliged the invitation. And so, we dressed up and went to the mansion, where the gates opened up by their own. Yes, it was really dark. And we couldn't even see the walls due to the heavy fog. And there were no lights whatsoever in the parks. As soon as we stepped inside, there was a man, a butler, standing with a candlestick, who welcomed us. I would like to say that he looked fat and bold, like all butlers do, but I can't because we couldn't even see his face. The house from the inside was even darker from outside. He showed us the way as we went through a narrow corridor, lit up by few candlesticks, and some creepy pictures can be seen on the walls. We reached the dining room, and the food was on small Chinese tables on the ground. And suddenly, the butler said, "Help yourself. Master will be here in a few seconds." And he disappeared in the dark. Of course, Master didn't show up. And my family finished their food and head outside to play. I stayed up alone in the dark. Of course, I was terrified. I finished my food as fast as possible, and since there was no butler, I had to feel my way out. And I ended up in a very narrow corridor with no candles at all. I was feeling my way out, and I felt something was touching my feet. I panicked and I jumped. But that something kept on touching me and hitting my legs again. I closed my eyes and screamed and ran for it. I couldn't see anything, but I ran. And I opened my eyes and I saw myself out in the parks. And I saw my family 2 miles away. And so I started running. But they kept on getting further. The harder I ran, the further they got. I screamed, "Why is this happening to me?" I lowered my head and started sobbing. When I raised up my head, they were in front of me. As I walked between them, I noticed that they could not see or hear me. I walked up to my mom and I tried calling her, "Mom," and my hand went through her shoulders. I tried hugging her, but she disappeared. And everybody else started fading away, and I was left alone again. I screamed my lungs out. "Ah!" And suddenly, I woke up. It was a Saturday morning, 6 a.m. After this weird dream, I raced to my mother's bedroom, and I touched her shoulder. It's real. Thank God. I thought hard of what is the reasons for these dreams, and I came up with several deductions. First of all, I was going to face a lot of obstacles in my life, where I had to be independent and rational. I had to wipe my own tears, and I had to stand up on my own. The second deduction was, I had to spend some quality time with my family before it's too late, because we can't live forever. Or, since it was 6 in the morning and way past prayer time, maybe it was just another wake-up call.